What is going on, everyone? First and foremost, hope all of you are doing well. And for those who may be watching this in the morning, good morning. For those in the afternoon, good afternoon, evening, good evening. And those at night, good night. Depending on what part of the time of day you're watching this. So this is going to be day 14 of the Halloween Horror 3. Man, day 14. We're pretty much at the halfway point at this point. So yeah, so very, very excited. Unfortunately, just like the Funhouse, this review is not. This was a film I did not care for. There are some positives, but there are also a lot of negatives. As you guys know, when I did the Funhouse, I did not really care too much for that film. I just wasn't really all that great, and the transfer on the 4K was absolutely horrible. Excuse me. So for day 14, I'm going to be reviewing Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things. Released in 1972. And this is a 2016 Blu-ray from VCI Entertainment. Boy, this movie was it was decent for what it was, but man, there are so many bads. So basically, the film follows these theater actors who decide to stay at this run-down building at a cemetery, I think across from the city, and they decide to do this spell of some sort, and they accidentally raise the dead. They didn't think it was gonna work. I feel like I gotta sneeze. I apologize. So they were doing it just for the fun of it. They didn't think something would actually happen. Well, it does. But at the beginning of the film, they had two other friends of theirs help the director, the one in charge of this whole tour and this whole get together, I guess is the best way to put it. Kind of wanted to prank the others, and they do so. But eventually they go to this place, and yeah, they do this spell, and it raises the dead. And then they start to take, the people one by one. First and foremost, I gotta give credit to the artist who did the makeups and stuff like that. Excellent. It looked really, really good. Definitely some like Day of the Dead, type of vibe. Dawn of the Dead. I like it. Maybe just a little more detail, but I thought it was decent. It's not a gory film. You see the victims get taken out one by one, but that's it. You'll see like close up, and they may have like blood on their face or certain areas, but that's it. It's not a gory film at all whatsoever. Not only that, but this movie is a very slow burn. It really doesn't start to pick up until the third act, and it pretty much goes by quick. It's just a little over an hour. I think it's an hour and a half. It's 87 minutes, so it's about an hour and 20 something minutes, like 27, I think. But like I said, it's a slow burn, and things don't really start to pick up until the third act, which could, push people away from wanting to watch this. I'm just gonna get a sip of my coffee real quick. And yeah, the transfer on this Blu-ray is not great. I've heard the 4K is pretty decent, but for this, I felt like it was just a DVD copy put on to the Blu-ray and just cleaned up a little bit. That's at least how I felt. There is one specific scene where you literally see the line in the film. I thought that was cool because it kind of like shows you the age of the film and kind of has that old school feel to it. But other than that, it's a very slow burn. Just there's a lot of negatives, but like it being a slow burn, things being very minimum when it comes to the zombies attacking the victims. Like, there's not a whole lot there. One thing I don't doesn't make excuse me. One thing that doesn't make sense. So I am gonna warn you guys there are spoilers. There's one character who basically gets killed by these zombies, or I think he was bitten or whatever, and he runs to the building that the others are at, and as they're going in there, he pretty much rests on the couch. Well, when they go to look and see if he's all right, they show that he has passed. One thing I find absolutely weird is when the zombies start to come into the building, they go and attack him. It made no sense. One, he's already has passed, so why didn't he come back? Made no sense. And two, why did they go after him? He's not living. So it's like it made no sense whatsoever in that part. Excuse me, guys. Seems like all right. Felt like I had a frog in my throat. So yeah, that made no sense whatsoever. Of course, you have the cliche characters. You have the comedy relief. You've got the Andy Kaufman looking dude. So yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. And then this guy, he's the main one. He's the director, like the play or Broadway director, whatever you want to call him. And he's the one that brings everybody and does this spell and stuff. So yeah, I just yeah, it's not. I thought it was decent for what it was, but it's not something I'd revisit. It's not something I would care too much to watch again. Um, yeah, feature wise, there's some decent stuff. Not the greatest transfer. Like I saw the Q&A, you could tell it's from 2007. Like they didn't even clean it up or try to, and the audio's awful on it. Like makes no sense. There is a UK version as well. What else? Yeah, you get the UK version with commentary. But yeah, I wish I could say more. I thought the score was pretty decent. You know, it is what it is. But yeah, I was hoping for something just slightly a little bit more. But yeah, didn't get that. Now it is directed by Bob Clark. Now, if you guys aren't familiar with Bob Clark, he's well known for a slew of horror films. One of the most popular ones is Black Christmas, and he's worked on a few others. I do believe there was intentions to do a sequel as well, but that didn't happen. But yeah, I wish I could say more. You do have a very interesting character, which is this character here. Yeah, it's decent to some extent, but it's just not a movie I would revisit. And then you get these really cool like Well, you have this really cool advertisement, as you can see, and then it's got some Blu-rays you can get, like The Dark Knight of the Scarecrow, which I have, the Johnny Spider Invasion, What the Peeper Saw, The City of the Dead, White Zombie. Some decent, some decent titles. Excuse me, my coffee is making me want to burp. And then just a little booklet, well, what I say booklet, like a little pamphlet that tells you some stuff on the film itself, and some images, as you can see. So yeah, I wish it would have been a little bit better. I wish it wouldn't have dragged as much as it did. For an hour and 27 minutes, and you don't start getting good until the end. I just feel like is just not good at all. And the characters, when the zombies take them out, it's quick. Like, it makes no sense on why they just didn't let things drag, and they just, I felt like the zombies should have came around the second half. At least that would have built up from the entire rest of the movie of them trying to survive, but that wasn't the case. And some of the choices they make in this movie, it just makes no sense. Um, there's like, and again, spoilers. There's one scene where we have these two that you see on the cover, her, and then this guy. They're going up the stairs, not realizing that the guy that is the reversible artwork, as you see, is still upstairs. So as they're both walking upstairs and these zombies are trying to get to them, he basically, she's like frozen, like she can't comprehend what's going on, and he literally throws her to the zombies. No joke. The zombies stop and stare at him with their eyes wide, like, what? Like, and then if you pay attention closely to that scene, you'll see the rest of the zombies carry her away. They don't eat her, they carry her away. So I'm like, well, that makes no sense. Like, wouldn't they just eat her right there? They usually zombies do. They're not going to sit there and carry her away. So it's almost like because he sacrificed her, maybe they spared her in some way. I don't know. I don't think they do. But it was just kind of weird because it was like one of those details I don't think you were supposed to notice. And then, of course, he gets to the room, and then you have that one zombie they had the entire time and attacks him, and yeah, it kind of. And then, like, during the credits, you see the zombies go to the boat, and then they're like sailing off. Like, it makes no sense. Like, zombies aren't supposed to do that. Excuse me. So yeah, I just thought there were so many things that just made this film like make no sense. I feel like there was things you weren't probably supposed to notice, and you end up noticing. Um, but yeah, I mean, and the lighting was a little terrible too. There was like specific scenes where it's just like dark, and then there's other scenes that you get and it's like light, and it's like, should that be there? Should it be that bright? Like, the transfer just seemed not all that great, and just like the lighting just did not seem all that great. Um, and I feel for the caretaker of this place because they tie him up. Um, they tie him up, and the entire movie he's behind a tree tied up, and then as he tries to escape, because at one point the zombies are going past him until one turns around. And I'm like, oh, I was hoping he would be the one that ends up surviving. Like, he finds a way to get to the boat. But that wasn't the case. So, yeah, it was just awful. Just awful. And the fact that he had been tied up the whole time, like, that was ridiculous. Um, but yeah, for a film that came out in the early 70s, it's decent for what they were trying to do, but I just looking at it now, yeah, I just didn't really care too much for it. And the character's name is Orville. Is the creature that they take out and then he comes to life at the end. Um, yeah, I wish, it would have been a little bit better. I mean, there's films from the early 70s. I mean, hell, Phantasm came out in the late 70s, and that was a lot better. I mean, Halloween too. I mean, they did more during that time than they did with 1972. So, yeah. And Bob Clark has a pretty decent filmography. Now my biggest question is how's Black Christmas? Is it gonna be kind of similar where it's not over the top? Is it a slow burn? Do things don't pick up until like the third act? Because I would like to check out Black Christmas, and I feel like I gotta sneeze. I can't stand that. I want to check the film out, but if it's gonna be that bad, I know Black Christmas has got high regards, but if it's better than Children Shouldn't Play with Dead Things, then I'm gonna go for it. But yeah, wish I could say more about this movie, but unfortunately I don't. So I hope you guys enjoyed my video. If you guys enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and let me know what your thoughts are on this movie if you've seen it. I would love to hear your opinion. But yeah, not a film I'm going to revisit, so it will be going up on eBay alongside, of course, I have the Funhouse already on there. So yeah, wish I could say more, but thank you guys for tuning in. I'm Film Talk with Mikey. Till next time, guys, we'll talk films. You guys take care, and I will see you guys next time.